Hey everybody, I need to give a video some context just so that we're on the same page, because you know we do not want to be misunderstood. Okay, so we need to give this video some context. All right, tell me in the comments if you can hear me loud and clear. I'm over here at my office here at Simmerson Building. I'm located at 8585 Simon Mwewa Lane at Simmerson Building. 8585 is the plot number of this building. So it's plot 85. I'm on the corner of Lucia and Simon. I have a story to tell you. I know I was going to do a video with the subtitles, but I figured, you know what, let me just do a live. I've just been doing a live video on Ramundubile, and I posted a few minutes ago. Tell me in the comments below if you saw this video I posted. I was having a verbal confrontation, and that's putting it mildly, with a few Chinese nationals. So I know the video was posted without context, and many of you were asking me, Mr. Mwewa, what is that video you've posted? What are you talking about with those Chinese nationals? So I'm here to explain that to you. So tell me in the comments if somebody says we can't see the other hand. This is an arm. This is not a hand. This is an arm. This is a hand. See this? This is a hand. This is an arm. In Zambia, we say, no, where's your hand? You know, this is not a hand. It's an arm. This is a hand. From here to there is a hand. From this whole thing is an arm. That's a very common mistake, a mistake that Zambians make. Alrighty. So I have to tell you this story. I know I've said this, I've told this story on my earlier live video. I shared this story, but I'll share it again because I just posted a video of me having a verbal confrontation with a few Chinese nationals, and I know many of you are asking, what's that video about? So let me share that with you. So Saturday night, we went out to a Chinese restaurant, my family and I, and we love this restaurant. It's a beautiful Chinese restaurant. And many of you know, especially those of you on TikTok, you know I love going to this restaurant. I go there at least once every couple of weeks. We love it. The food is authentic. The Chinese meals are just, they have the most amazing Chinese dishes there. The chef is awesome. He's great. So the other day we go there and we're sitting outside. They have an outside sitting area where you can sit. It's got a beautiful pavilion, you know, like a nice shelter. You sit outside. It's very breezy, especially now in the hot season. It's the perfect place to sit, you know, lovely place. And we were sitting there having a meal, and these Chinese nationals were leaving the restaurant, you know, a group of young women, young men. And I could tell the moment they walked out of the restaurant, they were a bit tipsy, they were drunk. So one of the guys that was standing not too far from our table, now remember, we're sitting outside, he proceeds to hawk. You know how to hawk, like spit? And he spat literally not too far from our table. So without even missing a beat, I just stood up and I walked over to the guy and I said, hey man, what gives? What are you doing? And this guy looked at me like I was crazy, like, what's your problem? I said, no. You don't see that what you've done here is wrong? You don't see that I'm sitting down with my family? My kids just ordered the Kung Pao chicken, for goodness sake. Okay? My mother-in-law just ordered the glazed duck. And you're going to come out here and you're going to spit not too far from our table? You don't see that there's a problem with that? Instead of the guy apologizing to me, instead of saying, listen, Mr. Mwewa, I'm really sorry. I was out of turn. I shouldn't have done that. It was rude of me to spit. Not just spit. There's this thing. That's what he did. Not just spit, but he did that thing where they instead of apologizing, this guy goes into a tirade and he starts to give me lip. He starts talking about how there's nothing wrong with that. I'm making a big deal out of nothing. I looked at him and I said, you think that's not a big deal? You think spitting not too far from my table is not a big deal? Oh, he goes off. He starts talking. In that moment, I realized that the guy didn't know who I was. He didn't know that I was a karate expert. He had no idea that when I was a teenager, I took a karate class that took me up to yellow belt, and my karate instructor, Sensei Noble, taught me how to use these hands. The guy had no idea that he was staring death in the face and that I was taught the cord of blood technique. The guy had no idea. He didn't know. So I looked at him and I said, listen, man, it's either you apologize now or this whole thing, this conversation, we're going to take this to another level and you're going to be sorry. Oh, no. This brother just kept on yapping. Right there, without even thinking, there were two hits. I hit him, he hit the ground. Blood everywhere. The guy was bleeding from his nose, his mouth, his ears. Blood was coming out of... The place looked like an O.J. Simpson crime scene, for goodness sake. At about that time, his wife comes running over to me. She falls to her knees, grabs me by the waist. She looks up at me and she says, don't kill my husband. He's the only thing between me and poverty. I looked down at the sister. I said, listen, girl, far be it from me to make a widow out of you. But you need to put your husband in check. He can't come up in here, start spitting all over the place. What do you think this is, Beijing? Huh? Mr. Ho Chi Minh? This ain't no Guangzhou. You can't walk around here spitting like there's no tomorrow. She looked at me and she said, it'll never happen again. So I proceed to try to help this brother up. I mean, he was bleeding from where wasn't he bleeding from? Okay, that's how dangerous the cord of blood technique is. I mean, it only takes one hit in the right spot, blood everywhere. So I pick the guy up, we walk over to his car. I open the driver's side, I stuff him in there. The wife says to me, look, he can't drive. Not in the state that he's in, he can't drive. I said, well, honey, you're going to have to drive. But here's the thing. I catch this guy spitting again, you're going to be in the papers. And when I mean the papers, I mean an obituary. Do you understand that? She couldn't say the word obituary. We stood out there for at least 15 minutes, me trying to convince her to properly pronounce the word obituary. Homegirl didn't even know what a obituary was. So anyway, finally, I said to her, I said, you know what? Go on about your business. As she starts to drive off, in my mind, I was thinking, you know what? That could have ended badly. Thank goodness I didn't go all the way. Well, that didn't really happen. Okay, everything is true except the part where I hit him. I didn't hit him. But we did have a verbal confrontation. Okay. I came close. Came close. I didn't hit him. All right. I gotta go. Bye.